The Supreme Court has issued a ruling in regard to dark money that finances some of the political ads that you see. And they have insisted that these donations to predominantly conservative political nonprofit groups, what's often known as dark money, be disclosed at least 7 weeks ahead of the 2018 midterm elections. Some good news, finally.
The Supreme Court with a positive decision. When's the last time that happened?
Yeah.
So especially on money in politics, almost never. Now, remember Kennedy in his disastrous Citizens United decision did say, hey, listen, it's okay. We'll know where the money's coming from and then you'll know that what people's conflicts of interest might or might not be. Except the politicians were like, that's cute. No, we're not gonna tell you where the dirty money's coming from. That's the whole point of dark money, is to keep it from you. So we're not going to reveal who is funding these campaign ads. Now, apparently, the Supreme Court, before Kennedy leaves, is going, no, you're going to have to tell us where the money's coming from.
Yes, and it's important, especially when you consider the amount of money that's involved, and the Supreme Court weighed on that as well. So the Supreme Court's decision comes less than a week after a new research report by the government reform group, Issue 1, put some dollar amounts on this unreported donor spending. And the report found that the top 15 politically active nonprofit groups raised and spent more than $600 million on campaigns between 2010 and 2016.
Yeah, and so understand this doesn't just apply to conservatives. It applies to conservatives, liberals, just the same. If you're doing dark money, you have to tell us where you got the money from, which is fantastic. I don't want uneven rules. I want fair rules so we know exactly where the money's coming from and that could help us deduce what the reason is. By the way, the #1 donor is the Chamber of Commerce. It's not that hard to figure out what their purpose is. Their purpose is corporate power and corporate profits, and it is oftentimes at the cost of the average American consumer and employee.
Yeah.
So, but to know more specifics is always better.
Yeah, to know more specifics is better. And look, when I mentioned the conservative groups, the only reason why I do that, even though this would affect all dark money regardless of where it comes from, the reason why I bring up conservatives is because they are the largest donors. So, they referenced the Koch brothers, Americans for Prosperity, Crossroads GPS is another.
Crossroads GPS is Karl Rove's group. The others are Koch brothers groups, and the
Yes.
Chamber of Commerce obviously represents giant multinational corporations. By the way, they're multinational corporations, and they would like to influence American politics. The fact that we let them get away with it is unreal. So, look, temper your excitement over this news. It is definitely very, very good news and rare good news on this issue in particular, but it doesn't solve the problem. They're still allowed to bribe the politicians. We just now have to know who they are. And so we need to go way, way further and actually get the money out of politics to begin with. To do that, join Wolfpack, wolf-pack.com/join. Become a member, help support their cause of going above the Supreme Court and getting an amendment that actually says we're done with this. Stop, we're supposed to have a democracy, not an auction. Stop bribing our politicians in this way that the Supreme Court has deemed legal. So this is a tiny first step in the right direction, but we gotta go a lot further to make sure that we end the bribery. On the go, don't worry, we got you.